Hello, I'm Alessandro Zico and thank you for purchasing my tutorial. We're going to work on this photo. It's called the red dress, and what we're going to do is actually we're going to create from this, we're going to create a dress that will actually fill the whole bottom part of the photo, only using this piece of dress around here, and we're going to work on the skin and we're going to give it a nice warm effect to the photo. So okay, let's start. We're going to, as I said before, we want to give it a warm effect to the photo. So we're going to take the temperature a bit to the yellows, not too much, that's okay. We're going to add some magentas because they're actually a bit missing. So just a little bit, we don't want to exaggerate a lot. So okay, looks good. And okay, now the photo hasn't got that much of a contrast, so I would leave the contrast as it is. We have some strong highlights, so we want to tone those down a little bit. Now, while we're doing this, we're just concentrating on the model's skin. Okay, we want to turn the shadows a little bit up. Okay, we want to turn the whites a little bit down. Okay, and we want to take the blacks a little bit high. So I normally move the shadows high a little bit and the blacks just to work better on the eyes later and the skin. And now we can add a clarity to it to make the photo pop out a little bit more. So we're going to add the clarity and put it to around 20. Okay. So now that we've done this, we go down to sharpening and we want to add some sharpening to around 20. So now that we've done, this is what we had before and this is what we have now. As you can see, there's not much of a difference, but it will be useful later in Photoshop. So we're going to right click and edit this in Photoshop. Okay, now first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the layer. We want to work on the dress first, and we're going to liquefy. We're going to make it smaller. Okay, now we're going to go to the wrap tool here. We want to make this slightly bigger. Okay, pressure to around 30, and now simply we want to give the model a nice look behind. So okay, now once that we've done this, well, just make the arm a little bit smaller. Perfect. And here too. Now once that we've done this, we want to select the part of the dress we want to actually edit. So I'm going to select all of the skin like this, all of the dress like this. So first we're going to start with this one. So now we can copy and we're going to paste it. Okay, now this is what we have. We're going to edit, we're going to go to scale, and we're actually going to make this slightly bigger. Okay, now we're going to right click and we're going to go to the warp. So we're going to go here, just make this bigger. Okay. Now we want to make sure that this actually aligns good. So Control T or Command T again. We want to wrap it and just put it inside here. Okay. See, I'm putting this in line now by moving this. So here it is. Okay. We've done the first part. Now we want to switch this off, and we're going to select the second part of the dress. Okay, so we're going to copy this and we're going to paste this. Now Control T, and we're going to make this bigger as well. To around here. Okay. Sorry, Control T again, right click, and we're going to create a warp. And we simply want to make this look the more natural as possible. Okay, around here. Okay, now we can switch on the other ones too. And okay, so we want to play with this one. Control T again, and we're going to move it slightly here. Okay. And now we're going to go on this one now, and we're going to layer mask it, and with a black paintbrush set to around 70, we just want to paint in so that we don't see the differences around here, just around here, to give it a more natural effect. Okay. And we're going to layer mask this as well. And okay, too much. Okay. Okay, we're nearly done. Now we're going to hold Control or Command, and we're going to select both layers. We're going to merge layers again, and we're going to press Control T, and we're going to go and play with the wrap tool again, and now we can simply move this out a little bit more. So like this, take this down here so we don't actually see the photo. Okay. I actually want to closing that up a little bit more, so that we're going to fix this. So Control T, on the wrap tool, and simply move this one here, and with this, and we're going to play around with these two until we get the perfect combination. See here, one, and I'll select this, and okay, now once that we have this, okay, you can actually get the cloning tool here and select this area and just give it a click here, so it looks good. Okay, this came out really good. So this is how it was, and this is how it is now. But what we have to do now is we just want to cancel all the remaining blurred grass from here, that it doesn't look correct. So we're going to layer mask this. We want to get a black brush, set it to 100, and now we can start painting in. So we want to make this smaller, and simply take these off. Okay. And once that we've done here, we can do this on the other side as well. There's a dress coming out as well. Doesn't matter. We're going to fix that later. I actually went a bit too much there. So, okay. Okay, now seeing that we have this little dress left behind and we have the tree trunk here, we want to switch this off and remember what we have. So we're going to actually clone everything out to make sure this layer is selected, and just just copy this out. Okay, and we want to copy this out as well. And this part too. Okay. Okay, it looks good. And what we're going to do now is, once that we have done with the dress, we want to flatten the image and start working on the model. So we close it up to the model, and what we're going to do is we're going to open up the perfect portrait action, so perfect portrait. We can start working all over the model. So we're going to go perfect eyes first. So we press the lighter. We have a black layer mask here, so we're going to select a brush, set it to white, and 100%, make sure it's a soft one. So put that down and simply give the model a nice light effect to the eyes. Then we're going to move the contrast, press OK, paint on bright, so we're only going to paint on the bright side. So here, okay, and here. And on the dark, we want to paint only on the dark, so I'm going to make the brush a little smaller. Okay, like this here, on the pupil, and on the dark side here. Okay, so the eyes are a bit too much, so we want to group everything. So we're going to press Ctrl and select the other layer too, Ctrl J or Command J to group it, and now we can simply move all the opacity until we find the perfect light and contrast that we like. Okay, it looks good, and now we can sharpen the eyes. We press the eyes sharpen, we have a black layer mask, always a white brush, and we're going to paint inside the eye. The result is too much, so we're going to go all the way down and start going up until we find a good one. So I think around 32 is perfect. And now we can go on the hair. So we're going to flatten the image, hair enhancer, and we're going to start painting on the hair with a white brush. So here, okay. Doesn't matter if you don't actually paint everywhere. Okay. Okay, looks good. Want to flatten the image, and there's no need to dodge and burn this. I like it how it is. And we want to work on the skin. We're going to go frequency separation, and we're going to choose the amount. We choose this by giving the amount that we want, but it's important that we choose an amount that's in between a blurred photo and a non-blurred photo. And I normally choose a blurred when I don't see the imperfections no more, so I'm going to move that a little bit up, so around 12 is okay. I'm going to open the frequency separation group, and I'm going to press on the high, and now I'm going to select a clone stamp tool, and I simply want to select a part of the skin that is clean. So holding down the alt button and pressing the left mouse button when the alt button is held, we actually recorded this piece of skin and cloned it, and now we can start cloning it out on where the imperfections are. Okay, it's going to take some time. Oops, did it wrong here. Okay, we've done now, and okay, we cleaned the skin, so this is what we had, this is what we have now. Okay, and now we want to pass the frequency separation on top, so we're going to click the low layer, and we're going to click the lasso tool, and now with the we're going to add we're going to give them the selection a Gaussian blur, and before we put 12, so we're going to go 12 again now, and now we can apply the Gaussian blur to the selected lasso tool by clicking Ctrl Alt F on the new Photoshops, or Ctrl F on the older Photoshops, and on Mac is Command F or Command Alt F. So we just play around a little bit. Okay. Okay. So a bit on the skin too. You can actually clean these out again. So press the high level again and the clone tool, and simply remove all the imperfections. I like the tattoo, but I don't think it's really good for this photo, so we're going to remove the tattoo again, remove the tattoo too. Okay, doesn't matter if it comes up like this, because later we're going to fix it. Okay. Okay, now that I'm done with the skin, this is how it was before, this is how it is now. Okay, so we're going to flatten the image. We want to duplicate this because we want to remove that tattoo, and we're going to select the patch tool and simply remove them all. So 1, 2, 1 and 2 here, 2, 1 and 2. Oops. Okay, some has remained here. Just going to remove all of that. Okay. Okay, so now that we remove this, we can continue working on the model. So we're going to open this up, and now we can do the dodge and burn. So we Open up the dodge and burn. We have a black layer mask on the dodge. We're going to get a white brush, set it to 20%, and now we can start actually creating the dodge and burning look on our face. So it's important that when you do this, did it wrong, sorry. It's important that when you do this, you don't actually leave the mouse or the pen from your board. You have to continue, you have to just do one drawing for each part of the body. Okay. Now with a black brush, so we set it back, we simply soften this up. Okay. Here. Okay, so this is what we have done. We can soften this up a little bit here too. Okay, we've done this. Now we pass on to continuing. So set it back to white brush again and start drawing. Make this slightly bigger. Okay, it's too big. Okay, some underneath here too. Okay, now with the burn, you want to pass on the cheekbones again. Okay, here, inside the nose here, underneath it here, just too much. Okay, a bit here, and like this here. As you can see, there's a strong line here, so we just want to take all this down and give it a soft look. Okay, so this is what we've done. Okay, and now we want to pass on to the lips. We're going to go flatten image and press the lips enhancer, and we want to make these 100% opacity, and we're going to give these lips a little bit of light and color. Okay. Okay, looks good. Okay, a little bit down. Okay, now once that we've done this, we can finally pass on the background. So we're going to flatten the image. We're going to go and select the infra brown action, infra brown here. And I simply want to paint all around the model. So doesn't matter if you actually go on a dress or on a face a little bit, because you're going to fix that later. Okay, now we're going to switch the brush to black. Okay, and we're going to paint in where we went with the action. So here. Okay. Okay, switch it back to white because there's a little bit of greens there. Okay. Okay, so there's some on my hair here too. I want to take that back. And fix these. Okay, white brush to just paint where the greens have remained. Okay. Okay, looks good. And now we can pass on to the toning of the photo, and before we do that we actually want to make the photo pop out a little bit more. So we're going to go to Filter, Nik Collection, Color Effects Pro 4. Okay, we're going to go all the way down to Pro Contrast, and we're going to play around with the dynamic contrast a little bit, and as you can see she is popping out, so it looks good. You want to see if with the contrast actually add some more contrasty black effect too. So okay, it looks good. We can press OK. Okay, looks good. And what I want to do now is I want to give the photo, the background, a warmer effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Adjustments, I'm going to go to Photo Filter, and I'm going to add some orange to the photo. So that's it. Okay. And now I want to remove the orangey effect from her skin, and I'm going to leave it on the rest of the photo. So here's a white mask, so we're going to get a brush, make it to black, and set it to 80% opacity. We want to remove it from the face. Okay. Okay, it looks good. And now we can add some color toning to the photo. So we're going to go to color toning here. For this, I want to flatten the image. Okay, and now we can see what we have. I actually like this one, so I want to set it all the way down. Okay, it looks good. 140. Okay, we want to flatten the image, and now we want to give the photo a nice detail, so we will go on perfect portrait again. So perfect portrait, here it is. We're going to go all the way down to details, and we're going to give the model and the dress all the details. So set the white paintbrush to 100 and just paint all on the model and on the dress too. Okay, now once we have this, see there's too much detail, so we want to go all the way down and slightly come up until we find the perfect detail. So yeah, 23 is good. Okay, it looks good. I want to now give the photo a little bit of a boost, so we're going to boost this here and take the opacity down and go up until I find the perfect spot. Okay, I think 24 is good. I want to flatten the image, and I just want to take these white dots off of a dress. So we're going to get the cloning tool. Okay. Okay. Okay, now this looks good, and I just want to add a sunlight here. So you go to the overlays, go to light pack, and I'm going to get this number 12. Here, set it to screen. Okay. Okay, now the photo is finished. So we want to flatten the image, and this is what we have now, and this is what we started with. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you on the next tutorial. Thank you.